Well, we were at 50 minutes past the hour on the East Coast of 8 o'clock, and in the ring comes Tony Schiavone with Dr. Britt Baker and Saraya. And again, Tony Schiavone, the interviewer of the announce team, gets him in the ring, asks Saraya one question, and Saraya snatches Tony Schiavone's microphone, and Tony just wanders off and leaves him the ring. But he doesn't even leave with authority. He goes over in the corner. He checks his earpiece. He's like, should I just leave? Somebody tells him, yeah, just go. And then this is supposed to be a face-to-face confrontation between Saraya and Britt Baker where they've got shit to say to each other and they're going to air this whole thing out. And not only was this the most unnatural looking interview I've ever seen, but Britt Baker, who the one thing we've always said is the best promo on the female roster, this was fucking brutal. Saraya drug Britt Baker down to her fucking verbal level. Because they started off with the face-to-face by standing 15 feet apart from each other in this empty ring with not even old Grandpa Tony Schiavone to keep them apart if they're so fucking mad at each other. And Saraya talks to the crowd and barely even looks at Britt Baker. Did you see where they were standing unnaturally staged away from each other and talking to the crowd instead of the person that they were upset at, that they were trying to fucking chasten and vent at? And at one point when Britt Baker starts talking, Saraya kind of comes up closer and looks at her, but then they start arguing over whose house it is. And they're screaming, it's my house, my house. And finally, Britt said, well, I built this place and I don't take walk-ins, so bitch, make an appointment. And the heel, Britt Baker, gets cheered for making that comment to the babyface. And Saraya answers Britt Baker by backing up and wandering around talking to the crowd again about how much she loves this business. I got hit by a car and wrestled because I love this business. Who cares how much you love the business? Nobody, except the small number of marks that kind of line appeals to. Nobody cares how much you love the business, chickadee. They care how mad you are at Britt Baker and how much you want to prove that you're the top girl in AEW, and if you got to go through the dentist to do it, then you're going to waltz her across Texas or something to that effect. Not go, I love this business, and you should all feel now I'm cleared.
I got hit by a car and I still wrestled because I love this business. Plus, I needed the 35 pounds.
They were trying to make Saraya a big babyface with this backstory, but then Britt Baker had the babyface lines. Saraya wandered around and screamed about all she'd done for everybody, and finally got a pop challenging Britt Baker for a match at Full Gear where she said, I'm cleared. But by the way, did you see the clearance letter that she tweeted out or sent out or whatever?
The undated clearance letter?
One line. Saraya is cleared to wrestle with no restrictions. And then she said, well, we're going to try it once a month as a start. Anyway, maybe she got Trump's doctor, the hippie from fucking Brooklyn or wherever that was.
Signed, Dr. Mike Lano.
There you Dr. Mike Lano strikes again. He's the clearer. Anyway, they got a pop with the challenge for the match. Then Saraya tosses the microphone down and awkwardly goes and stands by the ropes. And Britt Baker's awkwardly looking at her, and apparently neither one knew which to go first. And finally, Britt attacked her, but Saraya ducked, kicked her, and hit a modified DDT where she almost dropped Britt Baker face first on the microphone laying in the ring, if anybody noticed that. So that would have been the third broken nose, I think, for Britt. And she screamed, this is my house! And 10 solid minutes for these two to kick Tony Schiavone out of the ring and scream about whose house it was.
You know, it was good and bad. Because there were moments where I was like, wow, look at where this is going. You brought up Britt Baker usually does a good job. If you really think about it, how many good Britt Baker promos in front of a live crowd are there? Versus how many are in the back?
But I'm still pretty sure I've seen her be better than this live. But it was like the girl wouldn't get up in her face. There was no tension between the two of them. They were wandering around talking to the people half the time.
The problem was the argument they're having. Listen to what happened with the crowd. The heel, Britt Baker, started telling the truth and never lied once, and the crowd got behind her.
Yeah.
How dare you? You were over there being a superstar. I was the one here from the very beginning, from the press conference, and I did all these things, and now you're supposed to come in here and say it's your house? How is this your house? And the people were like, yeah, you know what? She's right. And her answer was, I've done so much for everyone. Look at everything I've done and everything I've been through. It's my house. Terrible. And apparently she's cleared. Apparently she wasn't cleared when she got physical with Britt Baker on TV, and that's a whole nother story. And let's see what happens.
Didn't they admit that also? They admitted, well, we weren't supposed to, but we just kind of said, well, let's see what happens.
Because remember, they put out a story that Doc Samson cleared her, and I'm thinking, no disrespect to Doc Samson, I don't think that's what he does.
Noted orthopedic specialist, Dr. Michael Sampson.
I don't think that's his job to clear someone.
He saved Lawler from a heart attack. I'm not sure he can fucking fix Saraya's neck.
Yeah, and it puts everyone in an uncomfortable position. Let's hope she really is well, and let's see what happens. I mean, the women's division has been a major problem. Let's see if there's anything that happens here with Saraya coming to save this house that'll change that.